World leaders. You love them, you hate them, but they're in contention for being the most important people. Many of them undoubtedly a top 10 most important person in the world. They dictate how the world works now and how it will work in the future. So it's a fair thing to say that these leaders should be good leaders. But what are good leaders? Well, that's a question I'll be trying to answer in today's video. Hopefully, you can incorporate some of these traits into your own life. They're going to start off basic and become more nuanced and complex as the video goes on. Alright, let's start. First, leaders need to be confident. Yeah, this is the most common one on the list, but in case you haven't heard, confident leaders are much better leaders. Because leaders who are confident give others that follow the leader more faith. Leaders who are confident instill more faith into people they're in charge of or the people that are following him. If someone seems sure of what they're doing, they're much more trustworthy as well. The people that you look up to and follow are probably very confident with themselves and don't stutter too much and speak with emotion with everything they're saying. And confidence is very needed when you're talking to some of the most important people in the world. A non-confident leader that is unfocused and stutters when he's talking and interacting with others is going to be seen as a worse leader. Because a leader that gets respect from other leaders can be more influential and seem less easy to bully. And confidence is something that to agree you're born with, but you can also change about yourself. Some major things that help is being more fit and bigger than other people. Another is just know what you're talking about. Like if you're talking about a certain topic, if you know a lot about that topic, you're going to be much more confident than other people. And then the third and definitely best way to be more confident is to just act like confident people you know. If you take on the traits of a confident person, you yourself will be more confident. That's how I personally got more confident, by looking at some of my friends who I thought really had their confidence down, and then I kind of impersonated them a little bit. Now I'm called a little too confident by other people. But there's no such thing. Confident leader is a good leader. Next, leaders need to be charismatic. Leaders need to have a message that people believe in and are willing to help them achieve. This can be in conquering a territory, protecting freedoms, improving health, bringing more equality, and even things like racial superiority. Don't doubt the evil of man. I mean, hopefully you're not gonna abuse that and preach racial superiority or genocide. But I mean, from an objective view, leaders like Adolf Hitler and Stalin were charismatic. It may not be as important in other countries, but in countries like the US, European countries, and Japan, who are democracies, strong democracies, you have to convince millions of people to follow you and vote for you. A boring and uninteresting leader usually only gets elected in these countries when the opposition is hated to a large degree by a majority of the population, or disliked more than the opposition. So find a message that you strongly agree with and feel like more people should be supporting. It'd be good to pick a message that you think will help other people, and try to get out of the mindset of just picking a message that you think other people would enjoy. Hopefully, white supremacy is not on that list of ideas you want to spread. Thirdly, leaders need a close group in their inner circle. No man rules alone, and we all know that, but no man thinks alone either. Shouldn't think alone. An inner circle can keep you on the right track and protect you against your stupidity. One of the first examples that came to my mind was actually the inner circle surrounding Logan Paul. For a while, he just had yes men surrounding him, but that ended up doing terrible things, like recording in a forest where people had committed suicide. If he didn't just have people around him that said yes to all of his ideas, someone would have stopped him from posting that video, or better yet, even recording it in the first place. And when you get higher up in leadership, there will be more and more people envious of you, and people that will be fake friends just to take your position or have some of your power or get some perks. So having an inner circle can really help with that, especially with people that you've known and trust for a while. And these people will work harder than average because they like you. It might not be a bad idea to set up the correct incentives for these people as well. For these people to work harder and to spread your message more, to get more rewards and perks from you. But hopefully you won't be committing corruption when you do this. Gosh, man, just recording this video makes me think about how much sense it makes for leaders to be corrupt. Quite saddening, I must say. Anyways, good leaders need to have long-term thinking. There's one trait that almost all good leaders have. The leaders that we still remember from 100, 200, even sometimes 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. And that's that they think decades or centuries in the future. Think about George Washington, Napoleon, Peter the Great, Emperor Meiji, and many more leaders that we know from a long time ago. They all thought more than 4 years in advance, like most of our leaders, at least in the USA. Look at this new outfit. So basically my camera died last time. I'll be recording the last quarter of this video right now. You know, this is a pretty big country with 340 million people. like 10 million square miles of land that's sort of lacking this type of thinking. Can you guess what country it is? So basically try to think of something that doesn't directly affect yourself. Think about something that would be useful for your kids or your grandkids or other people's kids and grandkids. It's our job in the present to provide for the generations in the future. So basically don't be a sellout. And last but not least, a great leader needs to be amazing at something. There are plenty of mediocre leaders in history that haven't really done much of anything, and they always lack this one thing, which is that they're not amazing and or geniuses at administration, diplomacy, or military. Think about George Washington. He was such an inspirational military commander that he was able to rile up regular old people like me and you to fight a war against the biggest empire at the time. And he was so good at being the president that he set the precedent for the next 250 years. Napoleon was so good at being a general and commander that he's arguably the greatest general and conqueror of all time. And also created the Napoleonic Code, which is still used in many modern European countries to this day. Peter the Great turned Russia from a feudal nation into a modern Western nation, changing the history of Russia forever, as well as winning the Great Northern War, which set up Russia to control all of Eastern Europe. I can't really tell you how to get better at these things, since I'm young, inexperienced, and I'm not a genius at anything. However, it is a pretty good place to start, in my opinion at least, to try your hardest every single day to get better. Seems like a pretty damn good idea to me. Well, if you found the video useful, make sure to subscribe. It's a small channel, and I can take all the help I can get. And make sure to watch these videos right here to become a better leader. See you in the next one.